Hello Internet, welcome to Game Fan. I'm messing with you. Alright, these are my Chapter 5 predictions. I apologize for any noise you might hear, but that's due to the fact that my noise gates are fucked up. Alright, so, my Chapter 5 predictions. Here's a quick disclaimer, pause and read that. So here are my predictions I have seen mentioned and came up with myself, but keep in mind I have not watched any theory videos for Chapter 5 or any other type of theory video. So if I say any predictions that someone else said in those videos, that's a coincidence or me talking about a prediction more in depth, as I do have my own takes on this. So maybe I'll show something new, who knows. So, prediction number 1, the Asgore Ralzai 1v1. So, we have 1v1s with everyone so far, but Ralzai, technically 2 for each one. Funnily enough, both the Lancer and Spamton 1v1s, there's a theme of lack of control for each respective one. Because for Spamton, that's due to controlling Chris the entire chapter. Up to that point, and for the Lancer 1v1 with Susie, while narratively the player does not control her, but gameplay-wise, we technically quote-unquote control her, or at least to dodge with Lancer. Only during the Gerson fight, it's more arguable, but that's more just gameplay reasons rather than actual narrative reasons. But I'm pretty sure you guys can see what I'm trying to put down here. But yes, there is a 1v1 that Asgore and Ralzai are kind of cited for, because Ralzai is the ultimate we gotta save everyone, and Asgore, infamously known for destroying the mercy button at the end of Undertale, because everyone also kind of just collectively agreed on this pattern, despite there being no evidence for it as well, which is, I think, general consensus of how much expect this to happen. So my next prediction is that there will be more than one fountain in Chapter 5, because you don't just introduce multiple fountains just for one chapter. Because, again, Chapter 4 had 3 dark fountains. And then, obviously, Asgore's Dark World is gonna be in the flower shop. That much is pretty much confirmed. But here's another thing. The graphic of who made the dark fountains, here, if we recall this Queen monologue about Lightners creating dark fountains, the order was Chris, Susie, and Noelle. Chris at the end of Chapter 2, Susie in the middle of Chapter 4, and Noelle, we haven't seen this yet, because at the very least, we will see one opened on-screen by her. Asgore's may be opened off-screen, is my guess. But we might see Noelle's on-screen. So, why do I think she would open one? See, this comes into my next prediction, is that someone is gonna fucking die in the other route. It's simply because, we have a comatose Lightner in Chapter 2, a dead Darkner in Chapter 3. Chapter 4, we already did see a dead Lightner, technically speaking, in the form of Gerson. So, Chapter 5... Lightner dying in the light world rather than an already dead one in the dark world. So my guess would be Rudy is gonna be the one dying, but there's a bit of a problem with that, because you see, I don't because I'll get to that in a moment. You see, you don't show these rules about specific darkness unless someone is important, like a Lightner, is either dead or dying. And the reason why I say there's something wrong with this is that this doesn't make sense, because unless Rudy dies in every route for her to create the Dark Fountain, why would she do this in any other route? Well, I guess you could say, well, then I guess he dies in every route. There's no saving Rudy. One problem to that, and one major counterpoint I have, is that Noelle in that other route does not know about the roaring. She doesn't know. She's not present for that cutscene, because that cutscene never happens with her present. It's only Ralzai, Queen, and Chris there. So I believe, depending on the route, someone different is going to die. However, that whoever that may be I'm certain is a Lightner, and they will die. That is what I am certain about for Chapter 5. Now, my next prediction. This brings me into my next point, is that we will finally find out Berdley's actual purpose in the story with his absence and or presence during the festival. Because here's the thing I personally noticed, is that every Lightner appears in the prophecy along with every major Darkner boss. Even Jockington has his own panel. but I guess this isn't actually everyone. Isn't just Birdley, but it's still important to cite because Birdley is not in the prophecy, but he's still important as one. He almost started the roaring, and without him doing it in the regular route, we wouldn't have found out about it. And is the only one at the end of chapter 2 who is the most suspicious of Dark Worlds. While Jockington is mentioned in the prophecy, he doesn't appear in any unoptional dialogue, which even Caddy has unoptional dialogue when Susie mentions her in the church. And she also has a unique talk sprite, not to mention her hatred for Susie, that is generally mentioned in the optional dialogue if you actually go out of your way to know about it, which I'm pretty sure is going to be a plotline in Chapter 5. I have a strong feeling of it. Now, another prediction is that at the end of Chapter 2, the mage leaves the party. It's dialogue mentioned while Noelle is playing Dragon Blazers. Prophecy, Dragon Blazers, and Deltarune are all the same thing. So then the question is, who is leaving the party? Did it mean Noelle's absence during chapters 3 and 4? Was it referring to Rousai leaving for the 1v1 with Asgore or in the evil route? Or is Noelle leaving due to the evil route? Because we don't know what route Noelle is playing, because it is mentioned that Dragon Blazers does have more than one route. Here is another thing that I'm too lazy to get the dialogue exactly, but it is mentioned that while Noelle is fighting the Wyvern on Dragon Blazers, that it reflects fire damage. Now, funnily enough, of course, Wyvern is another type of dragon, and who else do we learn ends up reflecting a damage type? Ever so conveniently. Of course, Susie technically learns it from Gerson, so that is worth noting. So I'm sure that how the weird route will end. I saw the thumbnail and I saw the video. Probably mentions that already, but I'm mentioning it here in case it's not mentioned there. But if it is, well, that's a funny little coincidence. Anyway, next prediction. That this is more of a kind of a fanficky prediction of mine, but it's one nonetheless that I'd like to share. And if I'm right and I don't get all your theories are wrong, then I'd like to take all the credit. So my personal prediction with the evidence I got and vibes is mostly based on dialogue. See, what immediately Birdley realizes is that there's something wrong in the other route with Noelle. It took the equivalent of exploiting the game to comatose him, with Noelle having the equivalent of Chapter 4 stats. Just look at the stats. I forgot to get pictures of it, but just look at the stats. She basically has the stat equivalency of being at level 4. He is the most sus of Dark Worlds at the end of Chapter 4, and when Susie says she's going to take Noelle to the festival, he isn't worried at all. See, because remember, like I said, Birdley, very suspicious during the other route, sees something's wrong with Noelle, but he's the most suspicious of Dark Worlds and actually does not seemingly negatively react, at least the way you'd think he should, considering the context of the other route, of Susie taking Noelle, especially since Susie is considered the school bully, etc., etc. So I believe that Birdley's going to have a true redemption arc, in that they'll both have a heart-to-heart about having neglectful parents. Because if you think about it, Susie has been, absent for 2 days from her home in Deltarune's timeline, I think 2 days, and Birdley's parents never came to look for him in the hospital in that route. So I do believe Susie's going to have a one-on-one with him, because she has had one-on-one moments with everyone so far, with Chris, Rousai, and Noelle so far. So, just worth noting. I do have other predictions, but leave yours in the comments below. I did have other predictions, such as the Knight's identity will be revealed, or revealed that Chris is working with them, a reconciliation with Soul, and Susie and Caddy finally reconciling, or Caddy and Jockington Dark World forms. Fucking subscribe, I guess.